지난달 넷플릭스에 공개된 다큐멘터리 완벽한 이유 The Perfect Neighbor에서 다뤄진 사건과 관련해 최근 놀라운 근황이 밝혀졌습니다. 다큐멘터리를 아직 보지 않으신 분들을 위해 사건부터 정리해드리겠습니다. 2023년 6월 2일 미국 플로리다주 오칼라의 한 주거단지에서 단 한 발의 총성이 울려 퍼졌습니다. 58세 수잔 로렌스가 자신의 현관문을 향해 총을 발사했죠. 사건의 발단은 이랬습니다. 수잔이 월세로 거주하고 있는 아파트 앞에는 빈 공터가 있는데요. 이곳은 동네 아이들이 공놀이를 하고 뛰놀고 나는 장소이죠. 6월 2일 저녁도 마찬가지로 아이들이 이 공터에서 놀고 있었습니다. 그러던 중 수잔과 9살짜리 아이 사이에서 말싸움이 시작됐죠. 수잔이 아이가 잔디밭에 두고 간 아이패드를 빼앗자 이 과정에서 언성이 높아졌고 수잔은 아이에게 롤러스케이트를 던지며 주거 침입이라면서 인종차별적인 욕설을 내뱉었죠. 아이가 이 사실을 엄마에게 전하러 갔고 엄마 35세 아지카 오웬스 일명 AJ가 수잔의 현관문을 두드렸습니다. 그리고 수잔이 발사한 총이 현관문을 뚫고 AJ의 가슴 정중앙에 박히고 말았죠.
Can you describe to the jury the damage that the projectile caused as it entered her body and proceeded through it?
So the projectile entered the right side of the chest. It then hit the fourth rib, after which it went through her right lung, it went through the heart, it went through the esophagus, it also went through the aorta, after which it went through the diaphragm, the spleen, and it was recovered from the left lower abdomen area. So entrance was here and the projectile was found around this area.
AJ가 수잔의 집 문을 처음 두드렸을 때 이미 수잔은 아이들의 주거 침입에 대해서 경찰에 신고 전화를 했고 잠시 기다리라는 경찰의 말에도 불구하고 911가 전화를 끊은 지 2분 만에 수잔은 방아쇠를 당기고 말았습니다.
They just keep badgering me and badgering me. I'm just sick of these stupid.
I do want you to avoid that person and then keep your doors and windows locked. An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible. Do you want the officer to contact you?
Please, yes. 911 is the address of the emergency. 1662 Southwest. Sorry. Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door. I'm shot. Through the door. Oh my God. Okay, what is your name? Okay, what's going? Take a deep breath for me. Calm down. Oh my God. You said someone tried to break down your door. Is that correct? Yes. Yes. The woman was screaming and yelling. She was trying to break down my door. And she was... Okay, it was a female. Yes. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my gun and then shot at the door.
이후 911 신고센터로 사람이 총에 맞았다는 신고가 물밀듯이 쏟아져 들어왔고 아이들이 보는 앞에서 총을 맞고 쓰러진 AJ는 급히 병원으로 이송되었으나 끝내 사망하고 말았습니다.
Here, move. She's got a pulse. Move. She does. Here, she's got a pulse. Where's the gunshot? Right here.
What did she show her with? Here.
Her gun like a 22 or something.
Oh my God.
She says she has a pulse.
No, yes.
She's got pulse.
Very
she said
faint,
she's got
very
pulse.
faint, very faint.
Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Turn around. Turn around. Where's your gun at? You got hands? You got hands? You're going to be detained. Is there anybody else in the house?
There's somebody else in the house. Can I just get my
No,
daughter?
no, not right now.
All right.
You're not under arrest. You're being detained.
Okay, I understand.
Come over here.
Wait, please close the door. I have two cats inside.
Hold
I
on.
don't want the cats to run out.
사실 수잔은 이 동네에서 이미 유명한 인물이었는데요. 2021년 1월부터 공식적으로 기록된 경찰 신고만 무려 6건. 월세로 거주 중이던 수잔은 자신의 아파트 건물과 옆 건물 사이 공간에서 아이들이 뛰노는 것을 극도로 싫어했습니다. 어린 아이들에게 인종차별적인 욕설과 무례한 언행을 일삼고 우산을 던지기도 하고 총을 꺼내 위협까지 하며 경찰에 주기적으로 신고를 해왔죠. 수잔은 아파트 집주인에게 잔디밭에 무단 침입 금지 팻말을 설치하라고 요구하기까지 했습니다. 하지만 빈 공터는 그 누구의 소유도 아니었는데요. 마을 사람들 그리고 사건 때마다 출동한 경찰들조차 아이들이 핸드폰과 태블릿에 갇혀있지 않고 뛰노는 것이 더 좋아 보인다며 수잔을 제외하고 그 누구도 아이들이 뛰노는 것을 문제 삼지 않았습니다. 그렇게 2년 동안 수잔과 마을 주민들 간의 갈등은 깊어졌고 피해자 AJ와도 이미 2-3번에 걸친 말싸움이 있어왔죠. 수잔은 계속해서 아이들이 무단 침입을 했다고 주장했고 AJ는 자신의 아이들에게 인종차별적인 발언과 폭력적 위협을 가하던 수잔에게 불만이 많았습니다. 그리고 결국 2023년 6월 2일 비극이 일어났죠. 첫째가 12살, 막내는 고작 3살 뿐이었던 AJ의 네 아이들은 한순간에 엄마를 잃게 되었고 그날 엄마에게 아이패드를 뺏겼다고 말한 9살짜리 아이는 자신 때문에 엄마가 죽었다는 죄책감에 사로잡히게 되었습니다. 사건 당일 진행된 취조에서 수자는 AJ의 아이들이 먼저 자신의 집에 무단 침입을 해 불을 지르겠다거나 죽이겠다는 협박을 했고 이후 AJ가 문을 3개 두드리며 욕을 하고 자신을 죽일 것이라고 해 정당방위로서 발포했다고 주장했습니다. AJ가 총에 맞고 얼마 지나지 않아 사망했음에도 수자는 당일이 아닌 무려 4일 뒤에야 체포되었는데요. 이로 인해 사건에 대한 여론의 분노는 마을을 넘어 미국 전역으로 퍼졌고 수잔이 즉시 구금되지 않은 점과 그동안의 인종차별적인 발언으로 인해 인종 간의 갈등으로까지 번지기 시작했죠.
The neighbors were out there screaming, yelling. The kids were running back and forth. I had a miserable headache. Went inside, laid down. They finally got quiet. I came outside, and the 3 boys were there. I'm like, guys, you're trespassing. Come on, go out of here. And he's like, I want this, and I want that, and you, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, little big kids, you know, because they're all really young.
So when you said that you came outside and they were there, the 3 boys were there, where were they at?
They're right in front of, you know, that little cove that's
Like
there.
the privacy fence?
They were right there.
Okay.
Right in front.
Inside the privacy fence, like
No.
on your patio or
No, they were
outside?
just right outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, come on, leave. Because I wanted to check the truck and everything. And then they were like, I'm going to tell my mom. You know, I'm like, go tell your mom. I don't care, you know. And,
Have you had problems with them
oh
before?
my God, yes. And they've been harassing me last week.
So they were being obnoxious out there tonight,
Oh,
and they finally got quiet, but then you go outside and the 3 of them are out there?
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further because he's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, in the world.
Who said that?
H. Ike's kids.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well,
that
I'm like, kids, go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden she comes out, and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything started shaking. And I'm like, you really need to leave. And then I'm going to kill you. And she's just banging away. It just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was going to fly off. And I panicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to kill me this time, you know. And so I don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting.
Where do you keep the gun usually?
It's in my bedroom.
That's where you keep
Yeah,
it?
I
Like
keep it in the bedroom.
in a cabinet or something, or just like...
It's just, I actually keep it in the trash can.
What is the thing about the umbrella? You have an umbrella?
I thought it was raining before, and I walked out and it wasn't raining. I'm like, okay.
And you like swung it at them or so, or one of them?
I wasn't even close. I was still inside the vestibule. So,
How can we explain that then with people saying, like multiple people that weren't like talking to each other, that if they were saying that that's what they saw?
maybe I did step out and I'm like, guys, go away, but I would never touch them.
Okay.
You know,
Maybe like swat at them with it, but not...
exactly.
Okay.
If I did it, it was probably because I was just so, you know, like, come on. Get
But
away,
I know,
get away.
at least say if you did, but is that what happened? I mean, we gotta kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand that.
Someone's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But if I'm looking at a door that's secured and whether someone's banging on it or not, law enforcement's already on the way. At what point do you,
The door is broken.
the door's broken?
That whole side panel, she's pounded on it more than once,
Mm-hmm.
and he fixed it. But when everything started rattling so much, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna bust through it.
Okay.
You know,
So it's broken right now, or it was broken before and then the landlord fixed it?
he didn't cherry-rigged it. He put screws through it so that the centerpiece was supposed to stay in there, but she was pounding it so hard. I mean, everything was just rattling, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounded like a horse kick.
Well, from the information I got, she was angry and pounding because she believed that you had either struck or attempted to strike one of her kids with an umbrella and threw roller skates. And I'm not, again, I know how kids can be, they're not always very truthful about things. But I didn't have any information provided me out there. Nothing that says that she threatened to kill you or that was doing anything more than trying to get you to come to the door. That she wanted you to open the door.
Why would I open my door to this woman?
이 사건은 미국 정당방위법에 대한 논란으로도 이어졌습니다. 플로리다를 포함한 30개 주에서는 자신이 합법적으로 있을 수 있는 장소에서 위협을 받을 경우 무력을 행사해도 법적으로 보호받을 수 있는데요. 다큐멘터리 말미에서도 언급되었듯 특히 가해자가 백인이고 피해자가 흑인일 경우 이 법이 적용되어 온 확률이 더 높다고 알려져 있습니다. 따라서 재판 전 이 사건에서 수잔이 무죄로 풀려날까 걱정하는 여론이 들끓었죠.
Okay. Do you suffer time and spatial memory issues where you can't remember certain amounts of time and things like that? And the reason that I asked that is you have indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or from the cameras that we've looked at in the area here. This incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Now, from the people that we spoke to, she's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped. If there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, 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 there was 3, then she stopped. And then she continued to, and then what happened. Nothing has led me to believe as an investigator that it was like 5 to 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset.
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements we've got, some of the things that we've learned, it sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
Could be.
Okay.
Because to me, it felt like forever.
The statements that some of the statements that you're saying occurred, like I'm going to kill you and those kind of threats. No one else has heard you. No one else has heard her make those statements.
Okay.
Okay. In your head. Are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today? Regarding some of the things you're saying that you heard, is it possible she never threatened you at all?
Oh, I swear to God, I thought she said, I'm going to kill you.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No.
What was your goal?
To shoot and hopefully, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
But you took aim at the door, is that right?
Yes.
I'm having a really hard time making this jump here that this unarmed person on the other side of the wall is somehow gonna get into your house and kill you. I'm really having a hard time understanding like how if you could go back in time, would you not do what you did? Would you take it back and I don't know, wait however long it took for the police to get there? I'm trying to understand that. Do you feel like you did something wrong here?
I did what I felt I had to. I honestly thought she was going to kill me. I mean, that's all I felt. I just felt that terror. I mean, it was sheer terror.
I'm not trying to take away the fears of being scared and everything, because I think that is a legitimate, scary situation to be put in. But to justify to go from being scared to a point where you're taking deadly force on someone who's standing on the other side of the door and you don't even know where you're shooting at, that's a big jump, and I think that's where Detective Pender is.
It could have been one of the kids standing there or something.
But it was her standing there. I mean, I heard her voice.
Sure, but some people don't talk. They're more quiet. So you've never had a break-in there before, right? Okay, no break-ins there.
Today, you really haven't, and I'm not judging you. Everybody processes things differently, so I understand that. But you haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what had happened.
Oh God, it just makes me sick. I don't know. I can't take it back. It's transpired. It's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do.
2024년 8월 시작된 재판에서 수잔은 계속해서 AJ가 문을 부수려고 하고 살해 협박을 해 패닉 상태에서 총을 발포했다는 주장을 유지했습니다. 하지만 검사 측은 AJ는 비무장 상태였고 문 또한 사건 전 수리 후 부서진 흔적 없이 꽉 잠겨 있었다고 반박했죠. 3일간의 법정 공방 끝에 배심원단은 수잔에게 총기 사용 과실치사에 대해 유죄 판결을 내렸습니다.
Verdict as to count 1. We the jury find as to count 1 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally used a firearm? Yes. So say we all, dated the 16th day of August, 2024.
석 달 후 형량 선고에서 수잔은 유년 시절 폭행, 성폭행, 정신질환과 중독 이력이 있는 가정 환경에서 자라왔음을 밝혔고 자신의 병력을 줄줄이 늘어놓았지만 판사는 이를 감형 요인으로 반영하지 않았습니다. 이에 덧붙여 총격은 불필요했으며 수잔의 행동이 두려움에서가 아닌 분노에서 야기되었다며 최종적으로 25년형을 선고했습니다.
I'm making a statement so you understand my actions and my reasoning the night of the shooting. My medical disabilities. I've had 25 knee surgeries on my right knee. Ended up having multiple replacements and then a catastrophic failure due to an allergy. I went back to have another knee replacement and I was burned during surgery. And so I had gotten very ill and my knee literally goes backwards. I had a laminectomy of my lumbar spine from the accident in 2019. I was back-ended at a stoplight and there was a horrible complication. My dura from my spinal cord actually healed onto my actual spine. So when they went to do the correction, give it a little more space, the dura tore, I was leaking cerebral spinal fluid, and he had to do an actual spinal cord repair. They didn't know if I would walk again. I also have cataracts in both eyes, and the one on my left is progressing faster, so it looks like I'm going through Vaseline on a lens. And I have some heart issues and high blood pressure. And there's a reason why I'm telling you all this. I have carpal tunnel in both hands and muscle loss and diminished gripping capabilities. The first time I encountered Miss Owens was February of 2022. I was about 7 weeks after the neck fusion, and she basically attacked me. And she threw the sign at me, and I thought, what is going on here? I had a huge red scar on my neck at that point in time, and she's screaming at me, and she keeps coming closer and closer and closer. I'm backing up, and then she's trying to rip the cell phone out of my hands. Finally, I had to say, you're trespassing, you really need to leave. And she picks up the sign, and she says, what, this f***ing trespassing sign, and throws it at me. This is where she hit me. And I still have the red mark where she hit me. I've never ever dealt with someone who was that violent that quickly. And so I was terrified of this woman. And then I found out the children, who said they were right there, actually were around the corner of the apartment, over 100 feet away. How could they hear anything? So I don't understand. And the prosecutors knew the children lied. Israel, I did speak to. He has been unbelievably rude. It was a few days before Christmas 2022, and he was trespassing, and I'm like, you need to leave, you're trespassing. And so he turns to me, he says, you're old, you're white, you're all alone, nobody cares about you, you're worthless. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't expect this from a 9-year-old child. I finally said, you know what, we come into this world alone, we leave this world alone, get used to being alone. And he left. And next thing I know, she comes back, and she's screaming and banging on my door. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? You can't talk to my child that way. I said, ma'am, you need to leave. And so she was banging and banging. She breaks the door frame. That she bent the actual strike plate. And I couldn't lock the door, and I couldn't open the door correctly. I was like, if she's going to do that to my door frame and break a metal piece, what is she going to do to me? I also have from that same fall when I was on the toilet paper, I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. I'm not supposed to be getting excited. I'm not supposed to have high blood pressure. This woman is terrorizing me. If she hits me, she will kill me. Literally, she will kill me. I will bleed out internally.
I do find that the defense has produced evidence that she would qualify for departure because she has for a mental disorder. I find they've proven she has PTSD, which is a recognized mental disorder, and is unrelated to substance abuse or addiction, and that she is amenable to treatment. So I do find she would qualify for that departure. On your second one, the capacity of the defendant to appreciate the criminal nature of the conduct, I don't find there was sufficient evidence to prove that departure. There was no indication she ever did not understand what she was doing, or that shooting at a person would be against the law, or that she couldn't conform with the law in any way. As a matter of fact, she seemed to be, prior to the shooting, calling the police. I don't find there's evidence that the victim was the initiator, willing participant, aggressor, or provoker of the incident. Although she was knocking loudly in this case, There was no real attempt to get in the residence. She kept asking her to come outside. Despite the existence of one legitimate departure reason, even if she did qualify for the other two departure reasons, I would not depart in this case because I find that the aggravated nature of this case and this offense and the harm inflicted outweighs the mitigation or the departure when I weigh the totality of the whole case. So I find that the seriousness of the offense outweighs any legal departures that could be applied in this case. Primarily looking at the harm inflicted upon not only the victim, who of course lost her life, but her family. She has 4 children, all of whom were present during the events or somewhere in the general vicinity, or at least home. It certainly will have a traumatic impact on their lives for the rest of their lives. They'll live their whole lives without their mother, which I think is a very significant harm inflicted upon them by Ms. Lawrence. When I look at the nature of the offense, I find that the shooting was completely unnecessary in this case. Ms. Lawrence was behind the door was locked. She had already called law enforcement, they were en route. She knew they were en route. She was in a relatively safe position. For some reason she went into her room and found a gun. She could have stayed in the room and put another locked door between her and Miss Owens, but she came back out, put herself in front of the door, and at the time she fired the gun through the door, she was safe. Miss Owens was simply, although she was clearly banging loudly and was probably very angry over the whole situation, it appears to be she was mostly demanding that Miss Lawrence come outside, which would indicate she had no indication of coming inside the house. So when Miss Lawrence fired the gun through the door, she did so knowing a person was directly on the other side of the door. And she knew that person wasn't a burglar, she wasn't a robber, she wasn't a rapist. She knew she was probably upset about the interaction with the kids, but she had arguments with her before, and no real harm came other than, I guess, a sign was thrown at her, paper sign. And that's when she decided to shoot. The facts don't rise to a murder charge, but they are very aggravated manslaughter. The shooting was based, I find, more on anger than fear. And believe me, I find that, she's a victim of child abuse, was a significant mitigating factor. And she has no criminal record, which is also a significant factor. However, we also have a tremendous harm inflicted upon this family and the victim's family. So what I'm going to do in this case is she be adjudicated guilty of manslaughter with a firearm, and order to serve 25 years in the Department of Corrections.
그렇게 끝이 난 줄 알았던 이들의 법적 공방은 2025년 9월 로컬뉴스와 수잔이 인터뷰를 하며 올해 6월부터 진행되어 온 민사소송이 수면 위로 떠오르면서 다시 한번 대중을 놀라게 만들고 있습니다.
You then made, though, the conscious decision to go into your bedroom and grab the gun from your trash can?
Yes.
And you said you couldn't find your cell phone?
Exactly.
So take me back behind the decision then of you going into your bedroom, taking the gun out of the trash can, possibly knowing that you could use it, and you did. You shot once.
Yes, once. I was aiming for the top left corner of the door, and she pounded so hard that I could hear the frame crack, and it did. It splintered, the frame. And when she did that, I went like this, and I pulled the trigger. I just know the gun went off, and I heard it. She said, "Ow." And I thought, oh crap, I hit her. And I thought, how in God's green earth did I, aim for that left corner and I hit her? I couldn't figure things out.
Was the upper left corner more of a warning shot?
Yes, absolutely.
So you did not intend to shoot her and hit her?
No, never.
Some people have also asked, why not wait for the cops to arrive instead of shooting her?
Because when I called, when the kids said they would set me on fire, the Marion County Sheriff's Department never showed up. I ended up having to go there, show them the sign, show them the lighter fluid days later.
There might be people, though, that have noisy neighbors. You live on the bottom floor, you might hear the people above you. You might hear kids running down the hall as well. But is that enough to grab a gun from a bedroom?
No, that's not why I grabbed my gun. When she said, "I'm going to kill you," I firmly believed she was going to kill me.
Why should we listen to you now?
Because I have proof that the children lied. And again, when you're dealing with young children, you know that they're going to make mistakes. He told his mother, "I hit him." So I understand when she first came to that door and she was raging, I did not know what happened. I mean, to me, I thought she was having a psychotic break or she was high on something. When the prosecutor asked the child, where were you hit? He said, oh, she never hit me. That's in his testimony. And the prosecutor knew he dropped the charges for assault battery.
Susan Lawrence is not a racist.
No, no, sir. My attorney said, I strongly recommend you do not testify. And had I testified, I could have told them when she broke the doors. And that was the one thing that the jury got hung up on.
You also, at sentencing, talked about your past, including surgeries, and if we can maybe discuss this about being abused. Do you think that played a part in who you are now?
Yes. The fear factor. She acted like my father. And it just triggered that. I felt like a child who was going to get beat. And my father was very brutal. I mean, he put me in the hospital. It wasn't fun. And when the prosecution said, oh, you could have locked the door, my father kicked in more doors than I can count. And if we were under the bed, he would flip the beds over and grab us. So to me, there was no safe place.
피해자 AJ의 어머니가 딸의 재산 상속인을 대표해 부당 사망에 대해 수잔을 상대로 민사소송을 제기했는데요. AJ의 자녀들이 겪은 과거와 겪을 미래의 정신적 고통, AJ 사망 전 의료비와 장례비, 잠재적 소득 손실에 대해 손해배상을 요구했습니다. 이 소송의 공동피고인에는 수잔의 집주인 찰스도 포함되어 있었습니다. 찰스가 수잔의 요구로 권한이 없는 땅에 출입금지 표지판을 설치했고, 수잔이 그동안 경찰들에게 반복적으로 허위신고를 하여 이웃들에게 끼친 피해를 알거나 알고 있었어야 했으므로 AJ의 사망에 일정 부분 책임이 있다는 것이었죠. 지난 8월 놀랍게도 수잔은 감옥에서 변호인을 통하지 않고 이 소송에 직접 답변을 제출했는데요. 그녀는 여전히 완강하게 AJ와 아이들이 자신의 거주구역에 불법 침입했고 AJ로부터 살해당할 위협을 느꼈다며 수사와 법정에서 AJ 아들들의 거짓 진술이 있었다고도 주장했습니다. 이런 수잔의 완강한 태도보다 더욱 충격적인 것은 수잔이 명예훼손과 허위 비방에 대한 5만 달러 이상의 손해배상을 요구하며 AJ의 어머니뿐 아니라 겨우 14살인 첫째를 포함한 어린 자녀들을 상대로 맞소송을 예고했습니다. 그리고 수잔과 함께 공동피고인으로 고소를 당한 집주인 찰스는 사건에 자신의 책임이 없다며 혐의 취하를 요청했죠. 한 매체에 등장한 AJ 유가족 측 변호인은 수잔의 답변 제출을 긍정적으로 바라보며 수잔이 주장할 논리가 있다면 법정에서 공정하게 다뤄지길 바란다며 또 한 번 치루어질 법적 공방에 자신감을 보였습니다. 엄마가 총에 맞는 장면을 본 아이들과 엄마에 대한 기억이 거의 없는 어린아이들을 상대로 맞고소를 한 수잔에게 현재 상당한 비난이 쏟아지고 있는데요. 아이들이 싫었으면 시니어 거주단지나 다른 동네로 이사를 가야 했다며 판사가 수잔의 맞고소 자체를 기각해야 한다는 목소리도 높습니다. 처음 동네에 출동한 경찰들부터 체포 후 수잔을 취조한 형사들, 판사, 유가족까지 모두 수잔이 일말의 반성 없이 자신의 행동을 정당화하는 모습을 보였다고 이야기하는데요. 여러분은 이 사건에 대해 어떻게 생각하시나요? 아이들을 너무나도 사랑했던 AJ의 황망한 죽음, 그녀의 명복을 빌며 오늘의 영상을 마칩니다.